Welcome back to Breakfast Central. The presidential appeal at the nation's apex court finally came to an end yesterday as the Supreme Court affirmed the victory of President Bola Tinubu, dismissing the appeals of Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. News Central's marvelous Obomanu covered the entire process from the lower courts to the Supreme Court and now gives a view of the entire process.
So, in the court, as it is customary to every duel, a winner must be announced, while those on the losing side return to the drawing board to appraise their efforts in order to re-strategize to fight for another day. Nigeria's electoral contest started on the 25th of February this year, where President Bola Tinubu, then a frontline candidate of the All Progressives Congress, alongside Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi of both the PDP and the Labour Party, all slugged it out for the #1 seat in the country. President Tinubu emerged winner, but this unsettled other presidential candidates, and thus another front in the contest was opened: the battle in the courts. The Presidential Election Petitions Court commenced sitting, entertaining petitions filed by the aggrieved candidates, but upheld the victory of President Tinubu, dismissing the petitions filed by Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi over lack of merit. Nigeria's apex court then entertained appeals by the petitioners and finally passed its verdict, affirming the judgment of the lower court and the victory of the president.
Election of the second respondent as the duly elected President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is hereby affirmed.
I respectfully disagree with some portions of their decisions, but it's the final court. So if at this level you have any disagreement, the only appeal you have is to God Almighty.
While the decision did not go down well with supporters and counsels of the petitioners, there is, however, no room for appeal.
It's unfortunate that I did not hear about the issue of the forfeiture whatsoever. And the position of the law is that the courts is under a duty to talk on all the issues presented by the party. And we presented the issue of forfeiture.
This is not justice. It's not justice because Nigerians were expecting that this court would do the right thing, especially one in the area of 25%. The way they handled it, as far as I'm concerned, was neither here nor there.
Those on the winning side have called on the opposition to join hands with the president for the greater good of Nigerians.
It's not about a party, it's not about an individual. If we do not come together now, then we will have ourselves to blame. Opposition is not, you don't oppose for the sake of opposition. Elections are over, litigation is over. All litigation must come to an end. Now is the time for government.
If they indeed mean well for this country, I expect that after today, they will call President Bola Tinubu, they will congratulate him, they will now sit down and fashion out how to join hands with him.
Many Nigerians will be hoping that the president can now get to work and deliver on his renewed hope promises to Nigerians. Marvelous Ogbonmwan reporting for News Central.
All right, thanks a lot to Marvelous Obomanu, who, of course, was at the court all through the proceedings yesterday and was able to capture every single detail. So thanks to him for that. While, of course, we get analysts to join us this morning, it's just important to mention a few things. First of all, Femi Gbajabiamila and Dr. Abiodun, who were the last two people you saw on screen before Marvelous Obomanu, asking that the opposition comes together and, agrees that it is time to let go of the litigation, or litigation rather is over, and elections are over, so it's time for governance and all of that. The challenge with that is that, in every sane democracy, there will always be opposition. I think they should remember that. asking that the opposition should join hands, so that we can build Nigeria doesn't make any sense. If we are in a democracy, it is an opposition for a reason. There is opposition for a reason to keep the government on its feet, not simply because
to hold hands and
exactly. Mostly because if you don't have opposition to keep the government on its feet, the government will feel like they can relax and they can do whatever they choose to.
It's why when we're learning about learning government or studying government in secondary school, one of the things that it taught us was separation of powers and checks and balances. And the essence of separation of powers is so that one arm of the government can always check the other. And everyone is not slacking. It's why the duties of the executive are different from that of the legislature, and the powers and duties, responsibilities totally different from that of the judiciary. One arm, in some measure, it's just there to form some form of checkmate. And yes, you're totally right. Opposition is very important in any democracy because it helps to keep them on their feet, helps to keep them on their toes. You know that if you act out of line, there's somebody there who's going to call you out on your bad behavior. So yes, it's very important.
And if there is no opposition, I want our viewers this morning across the continent to understand what the realities are, being in a Nigerian democracy. If there's no opposition, the judiciary hasn't shown to take the side of truth and justice in entirety in the last long while in Nigeria. I'm not talking about just the elections now. Generally, the National Assembly has not shown to take the side of the Nigerian people that it's supposed to represent. And that is the reality of what Nigerians deal with. From the 8th to the 9th to now the 10th National Assembly, they have not shown that they genuinely would take the stand and they would create laws and they would checkmate government and they would stand on the side of the people that they represent. They haven't shown that. And so who should then take the side of the people? It still has to be, somehow, some way, the opposition parties. For a long time, the PDP has been criticized to be almost not an opposition party, simply just trying to get itself back in power, not really opposing the current government, the APC. Labour Party did show more of an opposition from what people are saying, way more opposition than the PDP has shown in the last 8 or 9 years. But there is those parts. There's also the parts where the president is asking that everybody join hands to work for Nigeria's good. We heard it in 2019. We heard it in 2015, first of all, and then in 2019. Goodluck Jonathan congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, and we expected, okay, now you've gotten the congratulations that you want. Now let's work. Nigeria went, according to our analysis, 100 times worse than it has always been. 2019, we heard the same thing. 2023, we're hearing the same thing. And so whether you get the congratulations that you want or you don't get it, whether you expect that they would join hands or not join hands, the fact is Nigeria has not gotten better in the last 10 years. And there's no analysis that shows that there's any part of the country that has improved in any way.
Well,
joining us this morning, as we get into the conversation, is a lawyer, human rights activist, Barrister Maxwell Opara. Good morning, Barrister. Thanks for joining us. Joining us via phone. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians. Maxwell Opara is my name. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you on the program. Let's, first of all, get your thoughts on yesterday's Supreme Court judgment. There's mixed reactions from, both the Labour Party and the PDP and the APC. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I want to start by saying that I may be wrong. I'm seeing it that the problem of Nigeria in the electoral system is the judiciary. I must say this thing with due respect to the justices of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. The essence of judiciary and the court is for justice and nothing more. A court is a court of law, but they never come when it will cease to be a court of justice, according to Constitution. Now, what am I saying? Remember where we are today. When in 2010, I think, no, that was in 2011 election, Supreme Court said that rendered BVAS machine useless. The same Supreme Court rendered it useless because that it was not recognized by Electoral Act 2010. And that was what led the civil society group, everybody clamoring for the amendment of 2010 Electoral Act. Now, 2010 Electoral Act now recognized difference and the transmission of results at rate time, which made everybody, the INEC came sensitize people, encourage people, because what we normally have before, every election, you see people going to farm, people going to play ball, people just going to gym and forget about it because they know that nothing will come out. Now, INEC, Sukoe and the INEC chairman was going around telling them that Rivers is going to work, they're going to transmit the result at that time, everything, making people to risk their lives, including the relation and the justices of the Supreme Court. Build people's hope. Now, at the end of the day, the device was not used in the transmission of result of that of presidency, but that of House of Rep and that of the Senate was used, and every other thing. Now, you still come and render the same device and transmission of result, use them again in this judgment. I'm not interested in whom you declare winner. I read law. If you are reading judgment of when we have a golden Supreme Court, we call it golden Supreme Court. The time of Oputa JAC, Nemeka JAC, Anagolo JAC, carry the issue, they know them, carry the white to them. If you are reading their judgment, you will see that every issue will be discussed and made comments in either way, either for or against. Then at the end of the day, they will give judgment. And you discover at that time, most of the times when they give judgment against you, you'll be happy going home. Now, I don't know what happened in Lagos yesterday. If you come to Abuja yesterday, it will be as Nigerians are mourning. Everywhere was calm. Where is the heart of these people? Now, you talk about subpoena. My brother, you don't need to have a law degree for you to know the meaning of subpoena. Subpoena is a witness of the court. Subpoena is somebody who is reluctant, who don't want to come and testify. It can only be ordered by the court. The same court ordered that you, who is a journalist, should come and testify. Now you came and testify. The court admitted, granted that order. The court rejected your testimony again. The same court that ordered. And the Evidence Act is one of the legal framework you are expected to apply in adjudication of electoral issues. Now, when you are not saying that the person was not front-loaded, how can you front-load somebody that is not able to front-load something that you don't have? And at that time, we have 21 days within which to file. There is no court in place. Are you going to bring application in a court that has not been sitting? You bring the application for subpoena when the court is already going on. In any general, there must be an exception. The law said that you should front-load all the whole witnesses. But this particular witness is not front-loaded as a result of you, as a result of the law. Now, instead of you as the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is a policy court, you now said it is wrong that the subpoena witness is supposed to be admitted. You make that distance. Then when they talk about issue of forgery, you must discuss issue of forgery, content it in its entirety. And now you can now say, for the fact that it was not pleaded, for the fact that it was not front-loaded, for the fact that you did not admit it at the trial court, that was the reason why we cannot admit it. But you should condemn and say that a leader is not supposed to indulge in anything that has to do with fraud. Issue of drugs, you now condemn it. Issue of drugs is a very great offense because junior ones are going to read this judgment. You cannot do it as if transacting in a drug is a good thing. It is not a good thing for Christ's sake. You should condemn it. And you say, however, since he was not convicted, we cannot use it to disqualify him. Then you talk about issue of electoral divers. You should ask a question. Why should the INEC raise this after writing condemning it? And you make a statement that INEC is any result that was not transmitted to as return is not supposed to be counted. After making all those listening, you can still go ahead and give your judgment, rely on the technical ground. But at least, now, do you know the meaning of this implication of this judgment? The implication of this judgment is that we have given INEC ample unlimited power to rig election because we have created a very big loophole. What we're going to do in election is that kill them, drag it, run away with it. Don't do anything you need to do to win an election. That is what's happening in Nigeria. Anybody who is control, who want to contest election, while others are campaigning, don't campaign. Don't campaign. Just do everything humanly possible. Make sure that you are declared winner. Ask the other person to go to court.
Oh, well.
Everybody will know the outcome of court.
All right.
It's very unfortunate.
Barrister Opara, what would you say are the next steps going forward from here? Whilst the All Progressives Congress is excited about the judgments being in their favor, we have the opposition, the Labour Party, the PDP, who are not quite satisfied with this judgment. We've heard a number of people who have complained bitterly about it. So different reactions. For the opposition, what are the next steps?
To me, the next step is that I won't advise anybody to go and waste his money that is going to contest election if you don't have the police, the army to rig the election for you. That's me. I may be wrong. If you know that you cannot rig yourself or buy INEC to your side, don't go and waste the election because they will declare the person who has more money, who has more power, winner, and ask you to go to court. And if you go to court, nothing will come out of it. That's just it. And we need to change our attitude. We need to change our attitude. We the citizens of this country. We don't have any other country. So why should the executive, the police, the army, and the judiciary want to destroy this country because of one person? Because we want to please one person is not good. So we need to change our attitude. That's what I take this morning.
Yeah, the president has also asked, for support. He says it's time to build our great nation together. And of course, pretty much the same thing Atiku Abubakar, the Ogun State governor, said.
Of course. Let Labour Party, PDP, let them form opposition. Let us continue to challenge. You can see that the EFCC chairman that was appointed, who is not qualified, I wrote to them asking them, don't appoint this man. They went ahead and appointed the man. I have taken them to court. I have taken the president to court and the man asking court to invalidate that. That's what we expected to be doing. Let us form opposition. Let us watch what they are doing. Let us continue to help where they are doing well. We clap for them. When they did not do well, we challenge it. It's 4 years. After, in short, it's 8 years. As far as I'm concerned. I heard them saying it's 8 years. So I may be wrong. So after 8 years, now, see whether we can get it right. So there's still hope. That's my own destiny.
Yeah, well, but the challenge with that is, while President Tinubu says, let's build the nation together, APC members are saying opposition should come together and let's, join hands to build the country together. There's also those who say that, Nigeria cannot grow with a president that doesn't have, full legitimacy among its citizens, that citizens do not recognize as their president. And so, do you think this might be a problem?
No. I'm a lawyer, and I expected to speak like a lawyer. One, he was declared winner. He was declared winner. He did not declare himself winner. The umpire, the presumed umpire, declared him winner. Then the other party felt aggrieved, and they went to election petition court of appeal. Court of appeal said no. What INEC did is right. They went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the highest law of the land. Whether judgment is rightly given or wrongly given, it is the judgment of the Supreme Court, and everybody is expected to do what? To follow the judgment of the Supreme Court. As I speak now, nobody can say that he is illegitimate. He is lawfully, he is a legitimate government. That one is that. Now, what you are taking is that how is he going? We are going to appreciate him. What expected Tinubu, who said that the praise is his lifetime ambition that he has been trying to learn from his childhood. No, right. Now that you have gotten the power, you are expected to apply what we call a national spirit. All the appointment is now one-sided. This is one of the things that made Buhari's government very, very unpopular. You are not following the same line. Then, two, you don't make a hasty decision. Just like removal of resources that put us where we are today. No consultation. You do not consult anybody. Just remove. Now, somebody was telling me dollar was over 1,500 yesterday. I don't know whether it is true. Is that the country you are asking people to support you? You are just causing trouble, causing pains on people, and you want people to support you. I think you should come back. What the policies, whatever thing that you are doing and people complain, you drop it. Before you take any decision, consult people for you to get there, because people have lost hope in you. People say that they did not vote you, but you need to bring them back. When the do not support Ngige. But when Ngige began to work in Anambra State during time, you see the people of Anambra State supported Ngige. I am saying, so that is the way you are expected to go. People hate you, people hate your government, people hate the process that brought you in, people do not vote you in.
Barrister Maxwell Opara, we thank you so much for your time with us. This conversation is one that's ongoing, and we hope that we can have you again. Unfortunately, we've run out of time for this conversation, but thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
It's my pleasure.